My name is Rose Anton. I've been coming to Rancho, I think, since 2010, when my kids hit middle school. I had gone to a church where I actually got saved, such a long story, in 2008. And my neighbor had brought me to that church, so I got baptized there, and then my kids were in Temecula, so I wanted to find a church that was closer to home and had a middle school program. So I think that was around 2010 we started coming, and I just love the community. I just like that it's real, and it's just like fits life right where you're at, and every time I feel like he's always talking to me. Like, how did he know? You know, it always just feels like it hits home. I grew up going to Catholic school, doing all the Catholic holidays, and I have 3 aunts that are all nuns, and so we were a very Catholic home, and I loved it. I knew a lot about the New Testament. I never really cracked the Old Testament or actually ever even read the Bible. So I had this understanding of God and an understanding of Jesus, but I never had a relationship. So a neighbor of mine, when I moved to California, so I grew up in Massachusetts, so I'm from the East Coast. She invited me to a church in Marietta and said, just come. And I thought, wow, this is so different than the Catholic Church. Everyone sings and is happy. Like, it was just different experience. Like, not to say that the Catholic Church isn't happy, because it is. It was just different. It wasn't organ music, and it was, I felt loved, like, immediately. And then it kind of set me on a path to start to read the Bible. But I wasn't committed to it. I kind of read it and didn't read it and read it. And then I practiced yoga for years. And whenever I would practice yoga, at the end, they do this thing called Shavasana, where you lay on your mat and you rest. And for me, that was always where I just prayed. And I prayed to God, and everyone else, I didn't even know what they were doing, but for me, I was praying. So I came home from a yoga class one day, and they were talking about stuff that didn't resonate with me. And I was like, I'm getting uncomfortable with this. So I started Googling Jesus, yoga, church, God, Jesus, yoga, and then Holy Yoga popped up. And I was like, what is this Holy Yoga? And I looked at it, and the registration, I think it was in the end of December, the registration for the next training was in January. So I called the woman that's in charge of Holy Yoga, and I said, I want to join your teaching. And she was like, okay. So I registered, and then it was like a 4-month program of a lot of biblical teaching, which really I learned so much in that 4-month span. And then we went to Arizona for a week of retreat, and it was just Bible study with women that came around me and just taught me so much about God and Jesus. And every time I think about it, it brings me to tears almost, but it changed my life, and it was cool. It's a good experience, sorry. Anyway, so we did do a lot of yoga and worship, but it's not the yoga that people think of, because it's all based on the Word. And it's really using your body as a tool to just offer it to God and just meet me here, God, where I am, and let me listen and pray. So it's really a moving meditation with breath, and it's amazing. I still wrestled with a lot of the Catholicism stuff that I had learned since I was born, and all this stuff that I didn't know. So I kind of wrestled with it for a little while, and then I prayed about it a lot, and I had a lot of support around me, and I got baptized. And then I was like, I'm doing this. So I've been in the Valley doing Holy Yoga for quite some time. I've done some retreats for Rancho. I've done retreats. I even did a retreat for one of the Catholic churches, and was hoping that, if I shared, and, it's the same, whatever. But yeah, so I've been in the area doing it for a while, and there's a lot of fear when a lot of Christian people hear the word yoga, because it can be fearful if you don't know what you're studying, and you don't know who you're worshiping and whose you are, which is, I'm a child of God, so I don't want to represent anything but Him when I teach. Well, when I first started, so I think I got certified in 2011 with that first training, and then in 2013 or 14 I got my master level yoga, holy yoga training. So I was dabbling in a lot of biblical studies for for 4 or 5 years. And throughout that time, I got hate mail from a lot of people that were just saying I was misrepresenting everything. And I feel like people can have an opinion that if they don't experience it or don't open, to maybe what God has for them, it can be hurtful. But I kind of just pray through it and hope that, God will just meet all of us where we are. And that's kind of how I got through it. Yeah, I've had a lot of questions. I've had a lot of, there's a lot of misunderstanding about holy yoga. And I can understand why. Because if you do start going to a regular yoga class and you have just an open mind and stuff that's not of God starts seeping in, it could have a way to maybe bring you away from God. But that's not what holy yoga is. Holy yoga is 100% God, 100% Jesus. The worship that I play is all Christian music. We usually meditate on a verse. And we talk and pray at the end. I mean, it kind of is like what Jesus wants us to do. What does the Holy Spirit want us? So sometimes we'll join hands at the end of class and pray for each other. Sometimes we just rest. So it just depends on what happens. Mostly everyone that comes, they're like, I had no idea what to expect. This is amazing. Most people, once they realize what we're really doing, all of the walls come down. And they realize it's all about Jesus and what he wants to do in your life, My background's in physical therapy, so I've been working in physical therapy since '95. So I have outpatient experience with sports injuries, and not that I'm doing physical therapy at all, but I have a really good understanding of the human body. So I have one person, I don't know if I should say her name, but she takes my class all the time, and she calls me and says, Rose, I need my yoga. Her hip goes out all the time, and she's always in a lot of physical pain. So she kind of described to me what she needed. I gave her some really good stretches to do, got her moving, and she's like, we prayed over her hip, and her pain's gone. And then she'll call me and be like, are you going to teach again soon? Because my hip's out again, and yeah. So lots of people, they have tension in their neck. We know what stretches to do for the neck. And sometimes just moving and breathing. People may come in depressed or stressed out or under a lot of pressure, and then they breathe and they worship and they pray. Because it's really not about me. It's about them and God. So I try to remove myself from the equation as much as possible and allow them to feel what they're going to feel when they're on their mat. And it's pretty cool. It kind of depends on what people are looking for. I have made some great friends through holy yoga. Like the people that come to my class, I'll say, I'll see people in the grocery store. I know them from holy yoga. I know from, and just depends what someone's looking for. Some people want to go deep inside and leave. Other people want to stay around and have a little fellowship or go to coffee after, or, so it kind of depends on what they want. I wouldn't force anything on anybody. Yeah. It's very good for you. I mean, the physical benefits of yoga, the breathing, muscle. I mean, people are like, I had no idea I was going to be sore after yoga, But I also want to tailor the class. I don't want to make it so hard that people are afraid and they don't want to come. Someone that's the thing about teaching and having experience teaching. Like, I could have someone that's really 80 and someone that's 15 in the same class. And just knowing where they're at, we can all do it together. We can even do chair yoga. So if someone really wanted to come, but they weren't able to get up and down on their mat, you can bring a chair. My favorite thing about holy yoga, honestly, I work a lot of hours. I'm spinning in my head a lot throughout the week because I have a pretty stressful job. And I get to holy yoga, and everyone is there, and I slow down. I open the Bible. It might be one time that I get to open the Bible during the week because I'm so busy. And I read and I pray, and within 5 minutes, I can just feel my entire body relax. And I can remember what's important in life? God, family, friends. I always say to my class, be the hands and feet of Jesus on this earth. Oh, but I do, so that's what's important. I just feel it within, and by the time I leave, I'm like, gosh, that was an awesome hour. I want to do this again. And everyone goes, can we do it again? Can we do it tomorrow? Can we do it? I'm like, I can't. I can only do it once. We're going to try it once a week for now and then see. And my friend Beth, who I've been in Bible study with since 2000 and probably 8, her and I have been in the group fitness industry forever. And she has similar training in yoga as I do. And she's got the Bible side. So I asked her if she wanted to come on board with this with me, and I'm super excited that she does, because she is a warrior for Jesus, and she is just going to be awesome.